What are milia? Why do they happen? How can you prevent it? And how do you treat them once you have them? That's what this video is about. Stay tuned. Have you ever noticed those tiny white bumps appearing on your face? It may look like acne, but it's not a whitehead. It's a hard, tiny bump. Chances are these are not acne, they are milia, little keratin-filled cysts that happen right under the skin. They show up around the eyes and the cheeks, and though they're harmless, they are a nuisance and they are very stubborn. You want to exfoliate it, but they just don't budge. You can go to the doctor and they can remove them, or you can try to address it yourself, and that's what I'm going to try and do. I'm going to be the case study for this little milia that has just popped up on the side of my eye. I'm going to share with you what I've learned, and I'm going to try and treat this myself, and I'm going to track my progress. All right, so let's dive in. Because milia are not acne, even an acne cream or something like that is not going to get rid of it. They are lodged under the skin. They're little tiny cysts filled with keratin. Because they're trapped beneath the layer of skin, you can't release them, and you really shouldn't try. I will tell you that I did that with this one underneath my eye, and it has left a red mark that will always be there, I think. If you can see that. Don't do it. They are harmless, but it does take a while to get rid of them. And it's the sooner you identify what it is that's causing them, the better. I think I have figured out what caused this under my eye, and I think just knowing that is going to help me prevent them, and I think it's going to help you too. So what causes milia? As we age, if we're not using the right products, thick eye creams, eye butter, balms, things like that, they can block your skin and the natural skin turnover. Skin that's not exfoliating properly, dead skin cells can build up and trap that keratin underneath. And sun damage can also be a part of it. Genetics could be a part of it. In my case, I wanted to know, what is it that is causing this? Why did this just happen? I know it's because I'm trying to do a lot of things to help improve the lines and wrinkles and thin skin under my eyes. But around January, I had bought the Rhode Skin Barrier Restore Cream and the Barrier Repair Cream, which has been great, but I think that is what's caused this issue under my eyes. I have been using petrolatum under my eyes for quite a while to slug and to retain the moisture under my eyes with my nighttime skincare. So I'm always using occlusive products there, but this is the difference. I have learned since getting this and doing some research that it's not the occlusive product that is the problem. It is the emollient products that are the problem. So I looked it up and I said, can either of these cause milia? And this is what it said. When it comes to milia, especially around the eyes, the barrier butter, which is the repair cream, is more likely the culprit due to its heavy sealing nature. The product is amazing at barrier repair on the cheeks, chin, and dry zones, but it's too occlusive for the skin that is very thin around the eyes that can trap keratin. It says to stick to lightweight creams and gels that are good for the area, but I know that I've used petrolatum, which is an occlusive around my eyes. I've been doing that for years. So I want to know, why can I use something like petrolatum, but I can't use something like that barrier balm, that butter around my eyes? And what I learned was petrolatum is purely occlusive. It is not emollient. It doesn't contain fat, oils, waxes, anything that can mix with dead skin or keratin and cause blockages, because petrolatum acts more like a seal or barrier on top of the skin, preventing moisture loss, but doesn't penetrate or interact with your other skin. It doesn't interact with your skin cells. That is the difference between the butter and the petrolatum. Also, it's non-comedogenic. That means it doesn't clog the pores or follicles. Milia aren't formed by clogged pores, but heavy emollients can block that natural shedding. So that's the key. It says, unlike moisturizers with keratin-trapping ingredients, petrolatum doesn't have those components, so it simply locks in hydration without interfering with your skin turnover. These other products, like the barrier butters, they can cause milia because they contain a mix of occlusive, emollients, and actives. So shea butter, oils, peptides, silicones. And because the formula penetrates and stays in the skin folds, especially under the eyes where the dead skin cells can build up, that is the problem. How do you actually get rid of the milia? That's where we're going now. Again, you're not going to use any harsh scrubs. You're not going to pick at them. You're not going to try and release it. I'm telling you, it is a hard substance, and unless you're a dermatologist, if you try to do that, you could end up scarring your skin like I did on this eye. This is what is recommended: gentle exfoliation 2 to 3 times a week. Now, I know under your eyes is a very sensitive area. Azelaic acid is something that you could use there. You could use an AHA or a BHA. This is what an AHA or a BHA does. It says these ingredients help loosen the top layer of dead skin so that the trapped keratin underneath can make its way out. Again, the Paula's Choice 2% BHA liquid or the ordinary lactic acid, that's another really great one, is lactic acid for that under eye area. The other thing is retinoids. I use tretinoin, but I also have a retinaldehyde that you could use. If you're just starting out and you're having milia, I recommend that. It's very good. I also recommend adapalene, a gel that you can just buy over the counter now. You want to start slow. It says here to do it 2 to 3 nights a week and to build up from there. The other thing is I just want to be very gentle with my skin while I'm going through this treatment on my own. I will be using the ordinary squalene cleanser, and I will continue using my dramatically different moisturizer. So that's kind of what I'm doing around it. Because I'm working really hard to exfoliate and I'm going to do it more frequently, you really want to use a sunscreen. I'll continue using the sunscreen that I use, which is the Dermatology. If you have damaged skin, that could be another reason why your skin isn't turning over and that the dead skin cells are getting trapped. So you definitely want to make sure that even beyond this process, you are using an AHA or a BHA and that you're using sunscreen, because those damaged cells kind of get confused and they stay blocked, if that makes sense. The other thing is this isn't going to happen overnight. I think I'm just going to have to be very careful and patient over the next few weeks. Here's a skincare regimen if you are addressing milia. The CeraVe Hydrating Cleanser or the ordinary Squalene Cleanser is good. You could use that morning and night. For the moisturizer, if you're going with the CeraVe, you could use the PM Facial Moisturizer or the Clinique Dramatically Different Moisturizing Lotion. Those are both very good. And then the sunscreen, you could use the Elta MD. It's the SPF 46. Or I get the Dermatology and I get that on subscription. These are both the same price, so those are both good options. For the evening, again, same cleanser. This is where you would add in that BHA liquid exfoliant from Paula's Choice, and then add in that retinoid, which is the adapalene different gel. If it used to be a prescription, it's now over the counter. If you are not using a retin-A, a vitamin A, this different gel is incredible, and you could just spot treat that 1 milia. And it says to do it 2 to 3 times a week. I would start there, and if you could build up to doing just a very small smidge every day after 2 or 3 weeks, that would be the goal. And remember, if it's bothering you, sandwich it between your moisturizer, your Clinique, or your CeraVe. And then in week 4, that's after 3 weeks of doing all this, add in that different adapalene gel. And start doing it twice a week, then increase gradually. And even after you get rid of the milia, this is a great anti-aging regimen at whatever age you're starting. It's great. If you don't want to onboard retin-A, these are great products for you. More is not better. It's consistency. It's knowing that you're doing these things consistently that will add up over time. Because if you go in too heavy and too quick, your skin is going to get aggravated and then you're not going to want to do it. And so the point is to get into a routine that you can do consistently so that you can enjoy the results. If you can't get rid of the milia and it's been 2 months, 3 months, 4 months, you might want to see a dermatologist. In my case, the reason I have it is because I was using an occlusive emollient product under my eye. Starting today, I will no longer be using anything that is emollient as well. I will probably stick with using my petrolatum under the eye for that extra barrier protection and moisturization. I will put links down below for all of these products. I hope it was helpful. I look forward to seeing you in the next one.